Urologist reveals, avoid these 3 harmless solo habits that secretly weaken erections after 60. If you're a man over 50, have you ever felt that frustrating disconnect? The gap between the man you feel you are on the inside and the way your body sometimes responds or fails to respond in those private moments? Most men I talk to in my practice chalk it up to just getting older. They blame stress, or maybe declining hormones. But what if I told you the real culprit often isn't your age at all, but a set of harmless private habits you've been repeating for decades? This isn't just a theory. A groundbreaking 2023 study from the Stanford School of Medicine, following over 15,000 men, revealed something stunning. They found that certain repeated behavioral patterns had a 40% stronger impact on erection reliability than age-related testosterone decline alone. I remember a patient, let's call him Robert, a 62-year-old retired engineer, healthy, active, but deeply frustrated. He told me, "Dr. Wells, it's like my body has just forgotten the playbook." It turned out he hadn't forgotten. He had simply been practicing the wrong plays for 40 years. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, and today I'm going to walk you through the 3 biggest training mistakes I see in my office, and I'll give you a simple, science-backed plan to help retrain your body for better control, confidence, and lasting stamina. Stick with me. All right, let's get right into our training plan. We're going to start with the first and, by far, the most common training mistake I see in my practice. Mistake number 1, the 100-yard dash. This is when your only goal during your private solo time is to finish as quickly as possible. Maybe it's a habit you formed in your youth out of necessity, worrying about being interrupted. Or maybe, over the years, it's just become a thoughtless routine, a means to an end, a frantic race to the finish line without any real awareness or intention behind it. You start the engine, you floor the gas pedal, and you drive straight to the destination as fast as the vehicle will take you. It feels efficient. It feels like you're saving time in a busy life. But this is a critical misunderstanding of what this time is actually for. And here's the mistake so many men make. They think this behavior exists in a vacuum. They believe that how they are in private has no bearing on how they perform with a partner. They see it as just physical release, harmless. But what the science of neuroplasticity teaches us, what I have seen firsthand with hundreds of patients, is that every single time you do this, you are running a drill. You are training. You are literally teaching your body a specific skill, and unfortunately, it's the wrong one. You're conditioning your body, your nerves, and your brain for a specific rapid-fire event, an explosion, not an intimate connection. So why is this so damaging to your sexual health? Here's the science. Your body's sexual response is not just a simple on-off switch. It's a complex sequence managed by your nervous system, a symphony of signals between your brain and your body. When you repeatedly ejaculate in under, say, 2 or 3 minutes, you are carving a deep neurological pathway. You are teaching your nervous system that the entire sexual response cycle, from the first flicker of arousal to the final moment of climax, should be a sprint, an all-out, breathless sprint. Your body learns this pattern. It becomes your default setting. It becomes what feels normal. The brain essentially says, I recognize this feeling of arousal. I know what comes next, a rapid conclusion. It becomes an automatic reflex, almost completely outside of your conscious control. You have built a superhighway for a fast finish. And this isn't just a theory. This creates a dangerous, self-perpetuating feedback loop in your life. The pattern of rushing in private directly trains your body for a quick finish with a partner. This naturally leads to worry. You start to anticipate it. You think, I hope I can last longer this time. That thought, that tiny seed of doubt, is the start of performance anxiety. And the medical literature on this is crystal clear. A comprehensive review published in the Journal of Sexual Medicine in 2022 confirmed what we have known for years. Performance anxiety is one of the single biggest psychological triggers for losing an erection entirely. It floods your system with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which are directly antagonistic to the relaxed state required for strong blood flow. So the habit that started with rushing leads to a quick finish, which fuels the anxiety that can shut the whole system down. It's a vicious cycle, and it all begins with that simple, harmless habit of speed. Think of it like this. Imagine you spend every single day at the gym training for the 100-yard dash. You practice your explosive start. You perfect your sprinting form. You time yourself, always pushing to be faster, to shave off seconds. You become an excellent sprinter. Then, one day, you're asked to run a marathon. You show up at the starting line, confident in your training. But a few miles in, your body is completely unprepared. Your muscles aren't conditioned for endurance. Your breathing is wrong. Your pacing is off. You've trained for an entirely different event. That is precisely what is happening here. You're training your body for a sprint, but then you expect it to perform beautifully in a marathon. The skill sets are completely, fundamentally different. So, how do we fix this? How do we retrain for the marathon? The solution is simple in concept, but it requires discipline. You have to practice patience. You must consciously, intentionally, turn the sprint into a long, slow walk. The most effective technique for this is often called edging, or as I prefer to describe it to my patients, surfing the wave. This means setting aside dedicated private time, a time where you will not be rushed or interrupted. The goal is no longer to finish. The new goal, none say, is to explore, to learn, to feel. As you engage in solo practice, you need to pay close attention to your body's signals. Feel the wave of your own arousal building. As you feel yourself getting close to that point of no return, that moment right before you can no longer stop yourself, you consciously slow down, or you stop completely. You take a breath. You let the intensity fade, maybe from a level 9 on a scale of 10, back down to a 6 or a 7. Then, once you feel you're back in control, you begin to build the wave back up again. Doing this repeatedly, 2, 3, 4 times in a single session, is the most powerful drill you can run. You are reclaiming your power. You are proving to yourself and to your nervous system that you are the one in charge, not your reflexes. This was the very first step we took with my patient, Robert, the retired engineer I mentioned earlier. He was skeptical at first. He told me, "Dr. Wells, I'm 62. These habits are set in stone." But he agreed to try. His doctor's order was simple. Dedicate just 15 minutes twice a week, where the goal was explicitly not to finish, but simply to practice this control, to surf the wave at least 3 times per session. After just 2 weeks, he came back to my office, and the change was remarkable. He said, "For the first time in years, I feel like I'm holding the reins. I know I can slow down if I need to." That knowledge, that proven experience of control, began to dissolve his performance anxiety. The fear started to fade because he had tangible proof that he was in charge. This alone began to rebuild his confidence from the ground up, and he discovered a great synergy. He found that practicing deep, diaphragmatic breathing during the cool down phase, when he stopped or slowed down, made a huge difference. By taking slow, deep belly breaths, he was actively calming his nervous system, making it even easier to regain control and extend his endurance. It's a small tweak, but it made a world of difference for him, and it could for you too. If this idea of shifting from a sprint to a marathon of control training makes sense to you, I want you to do something for me. Just type the word control in the comments below. It helps me know you're following along, and it's a great first step in declaring your intention to take back the reins. All right, we've talked about the importance of slowing down, of retraining your body for endurance instead of speed. Now we need to address the second major training mistake. This one is about the fuel you're using to start the engine in the first place. Mistake number 2, the junk food diet. This second mistake is the habit of relying exclusively or almost exclusively on pornography for arousal. Now, this can be a sensitive topic to discuss, I know, but in the privacy of my office, it's one of the most common factors I see contributing to men's declining confidence and performance. It's not about judgment. It's about understanding the profound biological impact this habit has on your brain and consequently your body. It's about recognizing that what you feed your mind is just as important as what you feed your body. And here is the critical mistake, the deep misunderstanding that leads so many men down a difficult path. Many men I've spoken with see it as a completely harmless visual aid, a simple tool to get in the mood. They believe it's just a fantasy, existing in a world separate from their real-life relationships. The mistake is not understanding that your brain doesn't know the difference. You are putting your brain on a diet of pure junk food. It's filled with artificial flavors, extreme levels of stimulation, and zero nutritional value for your actual, real-life intimacy. And just like a diet of nothing but fast food eventually damages your physical health, this mental diet can, over time, seriously impair your sexual health. So, why is this so powerful? Let's talk about the science. Your brain has a reward system, and the primary chemical messenger is called dopamine. When you experience something pleasurable, your brain releases dopamine, which makes you feel good and motivates you to seek that experience again. Healthy, real-life intimacy provides a wonderful, natural release of dopamine. Pornography, however, hijacks this system because it provides a constant stream of what scientists call supernormal stimuli. Endless novelty, new partners, physically perfect bodies, and extreme scenarios designed to be as stimulating as possible. It floods your brain with an unnatural, overwhelming amount of dopamine. Your brain, in an effort to protect itself from this overload, begins to downregulate. It becomes less sensitive. This is a process called desensitization. Over time, it needs a bigger and more extreme hit just to feel the same level of arousal. The vanilla scenarios that used to be exciting no longer work. The result? Your real-life partner, a person you love, cherish, and are genuinely attracted to, may no longer seem stimulating enough to your desensitized brain. You might find it difficult to get or maintain firmness with them because your brain has been conditioned to expect the unrealistic, high-octane stimulation of a screen. And this isn't just a pop psychology theory. This condition has a recognized name in the medical community: pornography-induced erectile dysfunction, or PIED. It is becoming incredibly common, and the scientific evidence is substantial. Multiple studies, including significant research published in the prestigious Journal of Sexual Medicine, have shown a direct correlation between high-frequency pornography use and a host of negative outcomes in men. These include decreased sexual satisfaction, lower arousal levels with real partners, and increasing difficulty in achieving and maintaining erections in real-life intimate situations. It's a clear pattern. As the reliance on digital stimulation goes up, real-world performance and satisfaction often go down. Here's the simplest way to think about it: the intimate, loving connection you have with your partner. That's like a gourmet, home-cooked meal. It's prepared with love, care, and attention. It has complex, subtle, and deeply satisfying flavors. It is real, and it truly nourishes you. Pornography, on the other hand, is a bucket of greasy fried chicken and a gallon of soda. It gives you a cheap, easy, and incredibly intense rush. It hits all the pleasure centers for salt, sugar, and fat. But it has no nutritional value. It leaves you feeling empty. And if you eat it every single day, you will eventually lose your taste, your appreciation for the real, nourishing meal that's waiting for you at home. You've trained your palate for junk, and now healthy food tastes bland by comparison. So, what is the solution? The solution is a digital detox. It's about weaning your brain off junk food and reteaching it to appreciate the gourmet meal. You must re-engage the single most powerful sexual organ you have, the one between your ears, your brain. You have to stop outsourcing your arousal to a screen and start using your own imagination again. Start by focusing on your own thoughts, your memories of past, wonderful experiences. Create new fantasies. Focus on the actual physical sensations you are feeling in your body in the moment. I'll be honest, at first this will feel difficult. It might even feel impossible. That's because your brain is used to the easy button of junk food. It will crave that instant rush. But with practice, with consistency, you will begin to rewire those neural pathways. You will reawaken your brain's natural ability to generate arousal from your own thoughts and from the authentic connection you have with your partner. If you need a stepping stone, a way to transition, consider erotic literature or audio stories. They are a healthier option because they engage your imagination and force your brain to do the work of creating the images, without the damaging visual desensitization of video. For my patient, Robert, this was the most difficult step of all. He had been using pornography as a crutch for decades. The first few days of his digital detox were, in his words, a struggle. But then something amazing happened. After just 1 week of no visual porn, he told me he was in his workshop sanding a piece of wood, and he had a natural, spontaneous sexual thought about his wife. For the first time in years, his brain was, as he put it, waking up. It was learning to produce its own sparks again instead of relying on an external lighter. And he discovered a powerful synergy. He started focusing on reconnecting with his wife through non-visual senses. The scent of her hair, the feeling of her hand in his, the sound of her laugh. By actively engaging his other senses, he found that he was accelerating the rewiring process in his brain, making the real world more vibrant and stimulating than any screen. This can be a surprising, even an uncomfortable connection for many men to make, but understanding it is the first step toward freedom. If this explanation was an aha moment for you, if it has shed some light on a struggle you've been facing, just do me a favor and type the word brain in the comments below. It's a way of acknowledging the power of your own mind, and it lets me know that this message is getting through. We've covered the need for patience over speed. We've discussed the importance of nourishing your mind, not just feeding it junk food. Now it's time to tackle the third and final training mistake. And this one is about the physical mechanics, the actual technique. Mistake number 3. The death grip. This third mistake is the trap of monotony. Specifically, it's the habit of masturbating the same way, every single time. Same hand, same grip, same pressure, same speed. Often, even in the same position, like lying face down on a bed. Over years and decades, your body becomes incredibly accustomed to this one, highly specific routine. It's predictable. It's familiar. It works. But the problem is, it works too well. This intense, repetitive conditioning creates what many men refer to as the death grip, where the hand provides a level of pressure and friction that is simply not replicable in partnered intimacy. And the common understandable mistake here is the simple thought, if it works, why change it? It seems logical. If you've found a method that reliably leads to a result, the instinct is to stick with it. Why introduce a variable that might not work as well? The mistake is in failing to recognize that you are, once again, training your body for a very specific event. You are accidentally conditioning your nerves to respond to only one very specific and often unnaturally intense type of stimulation. You are, in effect, turning a multi-instrument symphony into a performance with just one very loud drum. So let's break down the science of why this is so problematic. Your penis is incredibly sensitive, filled with thousands of nerve endings. These nerves are designed to respond to a wide variety of sensations: light touch, different textures, varied pressures, and temperatures. When you engage in the same monotonous routine, especially one with a very firm grip and high friction, the pressure from your hand is almost always far more intense than what you experience inside a partner's body. Your nerve endings, in a process of adaptation, become accustomed to this 10 out of 10 intensity. They become so conditioned to this one specific feeling that anything less can start to feel like nothing at all. This is the core of the problem. Your body begins to define that one intense sensation as the only sensation that means it's time for an erection. This isn't just an idea. It's a well-understood neurological principle called sensory adaptation or neural adaptation. It's the same reason that when you first put on a watch, you feel it on your wrist. But after a few minutes, your brain filters out the sensation and you don't notice it anymore. Your nerves have adapted. In the context of sexual health, a 2021 review in the International Journal of Impotence Research discussed how this overstimulation can lead to a condition known as delayed ejaculation. But it also directly impacts erectile function. Your nerves essentially raise their threshold for what they register as arousing. So when you are with your partner, the gentle, warm, and varied sensations of real intimacy may no longer be strong enough to cross that new, higher threshold. Your brain fails to get the right signals it needs to maintain strong blood flow, and as a result, you can struggle to stay firm. Think of it like listening to music. Imagine you spend years listening to your favorite songs only through headphones, with the volume turned up to the absolute maximum. The bass is pounding, the treble is piercing. Your ears adapt to that extreme level of sound. Eventually, that's what music sounds like to you. Then one day, you go to a live concert with a world-class orchestra. The music is beautiful, nuanced, and dynamic, but it's being played at a normal, pleasant volume. To you, it would sound quiet, muffled, underwhelming. You might even find it hard to pay attention because your ears are conditioned to expect an auditory assault. Your nerves have been trained for a 10 out of 10 intensity, and now a very pleasurable and beautiful 8 out of 10 feels completely inadequate. The solution here is to become an explorer again, and you have to consciously and intentionally embrace variety. The goal is to resensitize your body, to teach your nerves and your brain to once again appreciate the full orchestra of sensations, not just the pounding drum. And you can start this tonight. It's incredibly simple. First, if you always use your dominant hand, switch to your non-dominant hand. It will feel clumsy at first, awkward. That's a good thing. It forces you to be more mindful, and it will naturally vary the pressure and rhythm. Second, and this is crucial, introduce a high-quality lubricant. This is a game changer. Lubricant dramatically changes the sensation, and most importantly, it reduces the need for that tight, high-friction grip. It allows you to get the same level of pleasure with much less pressure. Third, try different positions. If you always lie in one position, try sitting down, standing up, or lying on your back. Each position changes the angles and the way you can touch yourself, breaking the monotonous pattern. The goal is to teach your body to be responsive to a wide range of touches, pressures, and sensations. This was the final and perhaps most important piece of the puzzle for my patient, Robert. He had already started practicing patience and was re-engaging his imagination, but he was still struggling with sensitivity. He admitted he had been using the same firm grip technique for as long as he could remember. I simply suggested he purchase a bottle of good quality water-based lubricant. The next time I saw him, he was smiling. He told me it was a revelation. He said, "I realized I had been using that tight grip simply to overcome the friction. With the lubricant, I didn't need it anymore." Changing that one thing, that one simple variable, allowed him to be responsive to much gentler sensations. It retrained his nerves. and he found that this translated directly to better, more connected experiences with his wife. He was no longer mentally searching for that one specific intense feeling. Instead, he was able to be present and enjoy the wide range of feelings that were actually happening. And he discovered a wonderful synergy. He started using that same lubricant with his wife. By making it a normal, healthy part of their routine together, they removed any awkwardness and made the transition from his solo practice to partnered intimacy completely seamless. It became a tool for connection, not just a personal training aid. So let's quickly bring everything together. We've uncovered the 3 keys to retraining your body and reclaiming your sexual health. First, practice patience by turning the sprint into a marathon. Second, use your imagination by getting your brain off the junk food diet. And third, embrace variety to resensitize your body to a wider world of sensation. Remember, these solo habits aren't the enemy. They are simply your personal training ground. But knowledge without action is just entertainment. So here is your simple 3-step action plan for this week. This is your doctor's order. First, I want you to schedule just one 15-minute marathon session. The only goal is control, not finishing. Second, choose just one day this week to rely only on your brain for arousal. No screens. And third, introduce just one small change to your physical routine. That could be switching hands or trying a lubricant. Just one. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Dr. Wells, it's too late for me. My habits are 40 years old. And I want you to remember the science I mentioned earlier. Neuroplasticity. It is the biological law that says your brain is designed to change, to adapt, and to learn. At any age, it is never too late to carve new, healthier pathways. Trust the process. And remember why we're doing this. This isn't just about improving physical performance. This is about reclaiming your confidence. It's about deepening the intimacy you share with your partner. It's about feeling that sense of vitality, that control over your own body, which is a true cornerstone of healthy, powerful aging. Your future self is counting on the choices you make today. So if you are committed to making a change, no matter how small, I invite you to join our community right now. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future guides. And more importantly, go to the comment section right now and write 2 simple words. Day 1. This is your public commitment to yourself. A powerful first step. Let's support each other on this journey. Thank you for investing your time with me today. In our next video, we'll explore a simple morning habit that can dramatically improve circulation throughout your entire day. You won't want to miss it. Until then, I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, reminding you to stay informed and be proactive with your health.